Ever since talks of Kyle Busch's contract options began this past year, one of the most overlooked factors was always the future of Kyle's own truck team, Busch Motorsports. Since their debut season in 2010, KBM has had its roots in the truck series and has been known year in and year out for being one of the best teams in the series. It has also been the ideal landing spot for up-and-coming talent in the Toyota development program due to its direct ties to the top Toyota Xfinity and Cup team, Joe Gibbs Racing. To date, the organization has won every year of its operation, most of which coming with the owner himself, Kyle Busch, although numerous young drivers have put up multiple win seasons with them, including now Cup winners Eric Jones and Christopher Bell, who delivered KBM their 2 Truck Series championships. This past year, KBM ventured into the ARCA Menard Series for the first time, fielding the number 18 Camry mainly for Sammy Smith, who went on to win the ARCA East Championship after winning a stunning 5 out of the 7 races on the schedule. And then in the ARCA National Series, Sammy won 6 out of his 16 starts, although 2 of which, Milwaukee and Bristol, also counted towards his East Series wins, and he went on to finish a solid 4th overall in the points. And that is not the only time KBM has ventured out of the Truck Series, as in 2012 and 2013, they ran 1 full-time car in the Xfinity, then Nationwide Series. Unfortunately, that did not pan out the way they wanted, with only 1 win coming with Kyle's brother, Kurt Busch, at Richmond in 2012. That year, the number 54 car, shared by Kyle and Kurt, only managed to finish 8th in the owner's points. In the following year, the rookie Parker Kligerman would finish 9th in the final driver standings in his number 77 car. Due to the lackluster results and not enough funding, however, Kyle shut down his Xfinity Series division permanently. With many changes in drivers and even the series they run in throughout the years, 2 things have always remained stable at KBM: Kyle Busch and Toyota. However, with Kyle's long-awaited 2023 Cup Series plans finally being announced, he'll be driving for Richard Childress Racing. Kyle will no longer be a Toyota racing driver. Therefore, KBM would need to make the switch to match RCR's manufacturer, Chevrolet. No big deal, right? There might be some growing pains as the team gets used to the new equipment, but with Corey Heim giving the organization 2 wins in his part-time rookie season this year and surely going full-time with them in 2023, along with an experienced John Hunter Nemechek that's also likely rejoining the team, surely KBM will still remain as one of the top Truck Series teams. Well, that's the issue. Both Corey and John are still under contract with Toyota, meaning they would no longer be eligible to run with KBM. On top of that, the other full-time driver alongside Nemechek this past season, Chandler Smith, had already announced he'll be moving up full-time in the Xfinity Series for Kaulig Racing. And just like that, KBM was now entering the 2023 season with no returning drivers and going to have to change manufacturers. Might as well just call it quits at that point. That's definitely what Kyle considered, but in the end, he would make the decision to keep the doors open, mainly in support of all the hard-working crew members and guys at the shop who, if KBM were to shut down, would be losing all their jobs. But that heartwarming part of the story is going to make the rest a bit more difficult to get through. Most predicted Nick Sanchez, the 2022 ARCA Menard Series champion and Chevy driver, would find a home at KBM for 2023. He could possibly be accompanied by his 2022 Rev Racing teammate and fellow Drive for Diversity driver Rajat Karuth, who was coming off a strong 3rd place in the ARCA season and made some impressive runs in some select Xfinity and Truck Series stars. Maybe even Brett Moffitt, the 2018 Truck Series champion, who was released from his Xfinity ride towards the end of the season, could come to KBM and give the team some much-needed experience to help them adjust to their new circumstances. With these drivers and 20 more named as potential fits for KBM's 2023 program, I don't think anyone could have predicted what came next. Right before the championship finale at Phoenix, Busch Motorsports was due to hold a press conference regarding their 2023 plans, and present were none other than Chase Purdy and Jack Wood. Yes, if you have followed the Truck Series in the past 2 years, you would know that these 2 are possibly the most underwhelming drivers performance-wise and are already labeled by many as NASCAR busts. Chase Purdy was off to a good start in his NASCAR career by 2018, the year in which he competed full-time in the ARCA Menard Series and made his first 2 truck starts for MDM Motorsports, along with being recognized in the NASCAR Next class for the 2nd year in a row. Despite his MDM teammate Sheldon Creed winning the ARCA championship that year, Chase did not have a bad season by any means. He didn't score any wins, but he was consistently running up front with 10 top 5s and 14 top 10s, including a runner-up at Gateway. All of this was good enough for a respectable 4th place points finish. The previous season in 2017, Chase ran the full ARCA East schedule, what was then known as the K&N Pro Series East, with David Gilliland racing, where he also came up short of a win and came in 4th overall in points, but he had a staggering 5 runner-up finishes. It appeared Purdy was a solid driver, but just cursed in regard to wins on a level parallel with Chase Elliott early on in his Cup career, or Daniel Hemrick prior to his 2021 Xfinity Championship. Unfortunately for Purdy, his luck took an even worse turn when it was announced that his team, MDM Motorsports, would be fully shutting down at the end of 2018, leaving him with no NASCAR or ARCA ride for 2019 whatsoever. Purdy stayed hard at work behind the scenes, however, and organized a deal in 2020 to run 7 races in the Truck Series for GMS Racing, one of the best teams in the series. Having had basically no driving experience since 2018, expectations were very limited for Chase, and with 1 top 10 and average finish of 21.1 and only 1 DNF that came at Talladega, GMS felt confident he had potential, so much so that they signed him full-time for 2021. Fresh off a championship with Purdy's former ARCA teammate Sheldon Creed, as well as a 2nd and 3rd place finish from GMS Racing's Zane Smith and Brett Moffitt, 2021 was looking to be another great year for the team. And while it turned out all right, with Zane once again coming in runner-up in points and Creed landing 5th overall, Chase Purdy certainly did not help their case. Over the course of the entire season, Chase only netted 2 top 10s and no top 5s, paired with a miserable average finish of 22.6 with 6 DNFs. This all compiled to a rather embarrassing points finish of 19th. Needless to say, this was not acceptable by GMS racing standards, and he was let go at the end of the season. In hindsight, it's very possible he was an afterthought at GMS, as they ran 5 full-time trucks that year and were potentially in over their heads, like Roush infamously was in the Cup Series in the 2000s. This theory can be very well justified by the fact that GMS downsized tremendously to just 2 full-time trucks for 2022, with Grant Enfinger and a driver that will be soon discussed. Anyway, for the 2022 season, Chase landed a new full-time ride with another top team, Hattori Racing, joining fellow GMS reject Tyler Ankrum in his first year for the team as well. Chase kicked off the year about as poorly as possible by not qualifying for Daytona, but other than that, 2022 was an all-around improvement in every other category. While he still only earned 2 top 10s, his average finish improved to a 17.7. He finished 16th overall in points, and most importantly, he only had a single DNF. In a series known for inexperienced drivers and aggression, that is impressive, not to mention he was gaining a reputation just the previous year for being involved in many on-track incidents. This well-overlooked improvement may have just been what Kyle Busch was looking for when picking his drivers for 2023. That, or Purdy's career-long BamaBuckets.com sponsorship. Either way, I think 2023 is going to be a career-defining year for Chase. Either he continues the improvement he started last season and becomes a playoff threat, or else he becomes a mid-pack for the remainder of his time in NASCAR. Personally, I would say that both are equally likely, but regardless, I will be rooting for him and KBM next year. And now for the other 2023 KBM driver, Jack Wood. Unlike Purdy, Jack will not be running full-time, but will still race a majority of the schedule in the number 51 truck. Wood started off in the NASCAR ranks with a part-time effort in the ARCA West Series for the 2019 and 2020 seasons, driving for his family-owned team, Velocity Racing. While he only tallied 1 top 5 and 8 top 10s and 14 starts across the 2 years in a fairly small West Series field, it's very hard to judge what level of equipment he was dealing with. Anyway, like Purdy, Jack Wood also caught the attention of GMS Racing, and they picked him up for 8 ARCA National Series starts as well as 12 truck stars in 2021. Unlike their ARCA driver the previous year, Sam Mayer, who won 4 races and the championship, in addition to multiple more East Series wins and the East Championship, Jack massively underperformed, only scoring 4 top 10s and 1 top 5. In trucks, he didn't fare too much better, with only 1 top 10, 4 DNFs, and an abysmal average finish of 26.2. But despite all this, GMS still brought him on full-time in the Truck Series for 2022. And Jack absolutely did not improve at all. Throughout the entire season, with a team that won a championship with Sheldon Creed not more than 2 years prior, Wood did not score a single top 10 and only had 6 top 20s. In addition to 7 DNFs, an average finish of 25.2, and a 24th place points finish, this was arguably one of the worst seasons from a top team in all of Truck Series history. While Jack had his fair share of bad luck, it's not like he was running any better. In about every truck race I tuned into, he was battling with the back markers outside the top 20, and it was not uncommon for him to get lapped on intermediate tracks due to a lack of speed. For results that bad and never even running well in a single race, I have to assume a lot of the blame lies on the team. But with his teammate Grant Infinger getting a win and finishing 7th overall in points, Jack is sure not free of criticism himself. Regardless, Jack will be getting, in what my opinion, it should be one final opportunity to redeem himself and prove that either he can improve quickly in the Truck Series or show that his equipment or team was actually holding him back at GMS. I don't mean to be too negative, but I do not see any notable improvement happening next season for him. A lot of up-and-coming drivers like Hailie Deegan or Rajah Carew, even Daniel Dye, who have taken some heat for underperforming recently, have at least shown flashes of potential, whether in ARCA or in select starts in different NASCAR series. Jack, on the other hand, has largely gone under the radar despite not coming close to a win ever, nor showing good consistency at even the lowest ranks of NASCAR. To be honest, I get reminded a lot of the iconic NASCAR bust Drew Dollar a lot when I see Jack race, who coincidentally also ran part-time for KBM back in 2021. Not to get too sidetracked, but as of right now, I would actually rank Drew above Jack, as at least he was able to pick up an ARCA win, and when he ran trucks part-time in 2021, he had very similar stats to Jack that year. And also, I don't care what anyone says, Drew Dollar was good on super speedways, but maybe that's for another video. All in all, I unfortunately see no reason why Jack would improve at KBM next season, and I do believe he will be labeled yet another NASCAR bust in the next 2 to 3 years minimum. And finally, although not directly a KBM driver, Nick Sanchez, this past season's ARCA Menard Series champion, was announced at the press conference for KBM's 2023 plans alongside Purdy and Wood as the driver of the new Rev Racing truck team. Rev has more or less been the drive for diversity team in ARCA for the past several years, and most recently fielded full-time rides for Sanchez and Rajah Carew. Founded by former DEI president Max Siegel, Rev has helped get multiple talented minority group drivers recognized, such as Kyle Larson, Bubba Wallace, and Daniel Suarez. 2023 will mark their first season as a truck team where they will have a technical alliance with KBM. I don't expect Nick to be a championship contender right off the bat, but based on his impressive showing with Big Machine Racing in the Xfinity Series this year, I do expect him to contend for 1 or 2 wins and at least be close to the playoff bubble. Anyway, 2023 will be a big year for Busch Motorsports as they switch manufacturers, and a big year for its 2 new drivers, as both currently have a lot to prove to show they belong in the Truck Series winningest team. And while I hope to see them both succeed, I think at least right away 2023 will be a massive downgrade for KBM, and it's very likely that if Kyle Busch is unable to score a win in his 5 races, the team sees their first winless season ever. That is all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you stayed until the end, make sure to drop a like and subscribe, as I will be covering a lot more silly season news in this type of format as it drops over the winter. Also, if you have any recommendations for other types of videos you want to see, make sure to let me know in the comments. But yeah, until next time, peace out.